Hello everybody, I'm doing something I haven't done before on this channel. A friend of mine, I think platinum ranked Reinhardt player, looking for some advice on Rein. So I'm going to try and do a little voiceover analysis. They've sent me 2 codes, or 3 of them, but one of them they told me don't look at it because I just get bullied. Maybe I'll look at that after, I don't know. But we're going to analyze them and see what they did good, see what they did wrong, and see if we can give them any pointers. So they did already send me the code.
Traveling to Dorado.
Dragon in hats. So that's F9. Ooh, nice skin. Nice skin. Throw to mayhem. I respect it.
Hello.
So the gate's going to be opening up very soon. Let's see the compositions here. Rein, no second tank right now. You got Mercy, Pharah, Ana, Genji, so 2 very good combos, and Rein Zarya. Compositionally, I'd argue you could be better, especially with the Winston now. That's good to be able to dive the high ground. Your job is just to be sticking around the payload right now, trying to make some space with your shield. Looks like you're doing that, so that's good. Now to try to avoid the fire strikes if you can. There's Zarya expended bubble, so you want to get aggressive on the Rein. That's very good. That's huge. That Rein can die for sure. Nice. But then you need to look at the Zarya now. The use of charge, and I don't agree. Don't agree with the use of charge, but that's okay. It's a 1 fight anyway. Why not be stylish, right? I get it. Cassidy definitely dies if you're able to push up on him. That's unfortunate. I'd argue you should have been up there further already so that you are able to make that space for your team. You only need to keep 1 on cart right now. There's no one's able to contest it on their team. That is the first point got though, so that's very good. You are down Sabayomi. It's Sabayomi from the Overwatch League. It's really him and Plat, guys. You're on about 60 on ult right now, but their Rein is also around about the same. So that's their bubble expended, so you need to get aggressive here. You have to get aggressive. It should have been calmed to your team, I'd argue, that you're getting aggressive. I don't know if you did or not, but should have been a little more focused heal on you. You are coming up on the Nano Blade. Shatter difference. I'd argue from that playstyle. Okay, there's the Shatter. From the Rein's playstyle, you would have known that the Rein had Shatter there, so that's good that he used it. You are winning right now. Their Rein should have definitely counter-charged that, so that was a bad charge by you. Decent Shatter though. Zarya expended the bubble, so you need to get aggressive and complete this fight quickly. And then I'd argue probably keep 3 on cart and then try to make some space after. Like Genji is 1, but your Winston is not going to follow up. Let's see. Rein no fire strike. There's not a lot you can do about that blade, unfortunately, if it's on the high ground. I don't agree with your charge usage. Now you don't have any countermeasures for his charge. I'd argue you should just wait for him to play to you and then counter charge. And you're down. He has the Zarya diff. That's the only thing. You may have the high ground control of Winston, but he does have the Zarya diff, so he's going to get a lot more support. I'm not sure what we're looking at here, but some plants. Coming up on ult soon, 69, lol. Their Rein is around about the same, a little bit more now. You're going to expend ults here, which is okay, because you want to get this just done so you can get it to that second point. That's perfectly fine. I agree with that, I agree. Do you have ult here? You're getting aggressive, but your supports aren't with you, which is unfortunate. You got a Mercy pushed up. You're getting too aggressive here. You have to back off or you're going to get punished for it. Your Winston is pushed up, but they're regrouping now. You're going to go 2v6. It's not going to work out. Ana does have sightline on you now, so you can play a little aggressive. Just be careful of the Zarya. They haven't used Grav at all yet. So they might be saving it for the blade, or they might just pop it. That's a huge Shatter. Holy! And you get the Nano to follow up. Unfortunate. I think you're very exposed when you use Shatter, especially if it doesn't connect. It did connect for you, so I get it why you weren't too focused. I'd argue you should have... That positional rotation... Right, hold on a moment. What's going on here? What is going on here? Why? Why would you do this? So you charge the Rein. Why not connect him to a wall that's earlier? You can connect him right here, but you don't. You can connect him right on that wall. Pushing in, and then you drop. I don't get that. I don't get that. You have the blade, and you know that you're going to pop the blade, so why drop? There's so much space that could have been created.
My ultimate is charged.
It was a lost fight anyway, right? But that's not the point. It could have been a one fight if you were there, but you dropped. Probably not calming it as well. But that's fine, we'll go with it. They did use blade as well, and their blade was successful, yours was not. You've got the shadow advantage here. They did use grav. They have high noon window. You're coming up on shadow. I assume you're going to use it on the high ground here, which would be a bad play. Don't do that. Let's see. So you are pushing in now. Big fire strike on the fly. Does feel like you're sort of allowing the Rein to get free fire strikes on you a lot of the time, which I don't get. You should be pushing up here because you have shadow. Although they did have the window there, so that's okay. Your positioning around the car was good. I'd argue you either need to be around the car like you were, or pushed up. You sort of did in between, and you were just not behind the car, but also not pushed up. Unfortunate shadow. I saw that you were trying to go for it. I don't agree with the use of charge. Once again, you should just be looking to swing and make space there. You sort of give up that presence if you just charge because they know you're exposed. That Bap is able to die. You should be calling it. I'm not sure the switching targets was a good play there. Unfortunate that they used a shatter. You are able to get some big damage on the Rein though. It's good that you're holding the shield, but they are going to pop the blade. Again, the charge, I don't agree with it now. You're just in their spawn and you're going to get punished for it. Don't agree with these uses of charge. You need to be a lot more passive. Let's see. So you do have blade. No nano. They have grav for your blade, so that's probably countered. You do have a TP now with Sim. Not a lot of contest of the Cassidy for your team composition or the Genji, which is a little unfortunate other than the Sim turrets. You spinning there is only giving them ult charge, so I don't really get it. Unless you're trying to build your nano, and then I get it, which is smart. But I'm going to go ahead and assume that you weren't. Okay, I'm not going to give you that credit. Rein is on the high ground here, so it's going to be a high ground battle. They did use bubble already. You are going to get forced off the high ground, which is very bad for you. Very, very bad. Then again, but you did get charged. You got charge bounced off the high ground, so it's not entirely your fault, so I get that. That's okay. We'll call that a dry push. That's okay. You got shatter. You do have nano blade. I'd argue you probably have. I'd argue they probably have the ult advantage here. Actually, they have the counter shatter, and they also have the grav for the blade. More important ultimates here, and then you've got zoning with the high noon. Going in with the blade. It's good block. That was good shield usage there. Good shield usage. I don't agree. I don't agree with the use of shatter, but that's okay. That's Cassidy, no flash. Not sure why you're facing around with your shield. You can look around with the shield whilst you're facing a different way. I don't really get. The charges have got to stop. Okay, the charges have got to stop because you're giving up so much freaking space. They have ball now, and they also have Tracer. You want to focus Tracer first here. Try and force the recall, which is good. Very nice. Right, the charges have got to stop. Okay, the charges have got to stop. You're not doing anything for yourself. You know, it's not helping. I like the little Swedish flag in the middle, but it's not helping. Okay, it's you're losing all of the space presence that you have as Reinhardt. You're creating all this space, and then you're just charging, making yourself completely vulnerable, either screwing yourself or your team over because they're down a main tank. So either you're going to get dove, or they're going to get dove. So, not worth play. Something that I've noticed about the replay viewer that's really irritating, especially because I use it a lot because of my videos. The colors at the top, they change, which is real irritating. Obviously the red sometimes goes to blue because it's one of the standard colors, so you can't use red. And then the yellow and then the whatever other color you have, they sometimes switch around, which is just really stupid. But let's analyze compositionally here. Fire Mercy on defense, which I don't agree with. Orisa, Rein, you're getting aggressive. That's a nice fire strike spot. I very much appreciate that. They do have the Echo Mercy, so I'd argue they probably have the advantage over the aerial. That's a great pick on the Genji. Fan 2 Pink G popping. Let's see. Rotating along the high ground, which is okay. Trying to make some space for your team. I get it, but you don't have a whole lot of rotation with you, so it sort of seems a little pointless. I'd argue that would be a good play if you're a Sigma. You're dropping pretty fast. Luckily, your Pharah, or maybe not luckily, hopefully you calmed it. Your Pharah was able to push up, but you do get absolutely pooped on because your Orisa is still on the high ground, unfortunately. And that's Say by Albi popping on the Echo. This is a good use of charge from Spawn. It's probably your best use of charge so far, actually. Keep it up. Right, so Genji, I'm not sure why you're looking to contest those, really. It's it was an inspiring attempt, I'll say that much. It was very much inspiring, trying to contest there. I'd argue either if your team is with you, which you can check, go in, which they were not there, so just back off and give it to them. You're able to take this fight earlier, but now you're not. You're wasting a lot of time. You're going to get staggered here, probably. Your Pharah did manage to find a pick, which is nice. You do have the Nano Blade coming up very soon. Your Shatter charge is pretty awful. I'm not going to lie. You're not really finding what you need to here because a lot of the time you're dying or where you're not supposed to be for the ult charge gain. Your damage are getting good picks here. You need to be pushing up on the Ryan because you have picks. As long as your team are able to support that. You do have the Winston now, so they have the high ground contest. It's good that you aren't over-investing, but when they were pushed up a little bit, I'd argue you should try to force them back. Right, so you're going to Nano Blade real early here. It does get shattered. You need to push up and help him out. That would have been a good use of charge, I'd argue. Would have been a good time to charge. And you know that Ryan used the charge. There's an interesting use of barrage, but hey, it worked. Not really getting the support that you need. I think, were you down Ana? The rezzing Ana, that's okay. I see. Right, they use Shatter. And if I was the Reinhardt right now, I wouldn't expect the Rein to have Shatter. So it's surprising the enemy team's Reinhardt ult charge. It's pretty crazy. He's built 2 in the time you built 1. Not that it's a, you know, not a personal attack on you. It's impressive though. They use Echo ult. Ooh! If you're able to get the Mercy, that's okay. I don't agree with the fact that you turn. You've got people indoors there, so why turn your back to the rest of them? Let them deal with it, I'd say. You can just hold the shield there so that you suck up the enemy cooldowns. You're, again, facing the wrong way. It's one Echo versus a whole team. Your damage should be on you dealing with that Echo, and if they're not, that's okay, but that's their fault. Your shield needs to be, like, primarily toward the people that are on the payload, I'd argue. That Echo is not priority. She shouldn't be able to sit there and just poke at you. Okay, that's the best charge you've done. Good job. So that's a 1 fight. They do have the Shadow, they didn't expend it. Antonio's backing up. Probably mirrored Shadow, so you could probably expect them to have Shadow now. So I'd argue you should be passive with your Earth Shatter. Wait for them to shatter into your shield. And then shatter right after to counter, you know. They're not going to be expecting it because they're going to get aggressive with the hammer. So you should be holding shield here. Holding shield, holding shield. Careful now. You don't want to get too aggressive. Look, he's holding shield here, so you can tell he's looking for it. Now hold shield, hold shield, hold shield. Nice. Luckily your Winston bubble was there. You're right, that enemy Ryan could have got aggressive because he knew you used shatter. That Zarya is no possible, but you need to hold shield here. You need to hold shield. Okay, that was aggression there. I'm not sure what that Ryan is. Ryan is being very passive with his Shatter.
Become my target.
We've got Ashe now. I don't know how... sorry, I didn't notice that you had Ashe. So you got that high ground presence. The charge, you're getting way too aggressive with it. I get it, you're trying to make space, but charge is not the way to do that. It was pretty much a one fight that was just continuing over. But now you lose that. The only way they're able to res is through the use of Bob. So you force your team to use Bob.
Reversing personality.
This will protect us.
It's unfortunate. Where's your Ashe playing from right now? F11. Right, so the Ashe was coming back from spawn. That's why there was no echo contest. You can just listen to the audio cues here of your team so you know that you use Blade. They switched to Ball. Oh, sorry, you switched to Ball. My bad. I don't recall their Ryan using Shatter. So I would personally still be playing passive. I don't recall him using Shatter, but you could probably scout that out from your team. You spent a lot of time in the air for that Shatter, so they have more time to react to it. Preferably, if you're going to jump before using Shatter, jump and then use Shatter in mid-air, because then that all of the time that you spend in air is cancelled with the Earth Shatter coming down anyway, so you don't lose anything from it. Don't give yourself more air time. But they only have one more fight. This is the last fight here, so hopefully your damage are able to find a crucial pick. They did use bubble early. You aren't really getting the support that you need, but you are now, so you need to get aggressive. It's good, but you're not playing in line of sight of your support, so you need to play on the right side of the payload. That Bob is nice, but you need to get aggressive. Or you need to force them around the side. That's a very good shield to block the grab. That's huge. That's a very good shield to block the shatter. That's huge. Good job, dude. Nice. Nice use of shield there. Big slam. Nice first game. Good job, just a Genji now. Hopefully it's over here. Tracer's probably going to contest. It's nice. Good job. Dragon in hat. You need to get less... Okay. Pointers of the game. You need to get less aggressive with your charge. It's not doing anything for you if you're just going to keep using it like that. There was some moments when you should have been using charge. For example, when your Genji was blading, the Reinhardt shattered. That would be a brilliant time for you to use charge onto the Rein, because their team, and especially, more importantly, their Reinhardt and their support line, for example, their Ana, are focusing that Genji. That gives you either a chance to use charge uncontested, or to recontest their Reinhardt and Ana to focus you so that the Genji doesn't get absolutely destroyed. You're using charge in a sense where it's like, I'm going to go in and try and make space with charge. You're not really landing the picks with charge, which is okay, but you're going too deep. Like, if you're not landing a pick with charge, I'd argue you should end your charge early on a wall or something, so that you're not deep in their backline, and either your team are going to get dove or you're going to get dove. So either way, you're screwed, pretty much. What else? I'd say it's good most of the time, almost all of the time, unless you're going for an environmental, when you charge someone, to end that charge as early as possible, unless you're going to combo it into a shatter, which you didn't or weren't looking to do. A lot of the time you were charging that Reinhardt, like let's say that example where you were charging that Reinhardt, you went in, you could have charged him on the wall next to you and still been there for your team, but you charged him all the way in their backline, and then what? He had the nano advantage. He has the support advantage because his support are in the backline. So you have to back off there or play into them, distract them for a bit, which would have been the better play. Distract them, likely die, but then, for example, they use cooldowns on you instead of the Genji blade, which was coming up. Your blade wasn't really able to pop, despite the enemy using blade as well. Even if they didn't, your blade wasn't really able to pop because you weren't able to sponge up any of the cooldowns. You weren't really making space for your Genji, any useful space for your Genji blade, which you knew that you had. Try to, as a lot of the time, it's very important to avoid the fire strikes of Reinhardt. You have to be aware of it. It's one of the most important things when in the Rein versus Rein matchup is to avoid the fire strikes, because that's their primary source of ult charge through the early stages of the game, at least. Especially on the high ground, low ground situation, you have to be avoiding those fire strikes. Also, with the Rein versus Rein situation, you need to be aware of them having shatter. It's a lot of mind games that come up. If you're able to react, then it's perfectly fine, but a lot of the time it's good to just try and bait them out with your shield, and then try to quickly not use shield and use shield again to try to force them to use shatter when you know that they haven't used it in a while. So try to keep track of their ult charge and try to play the mind games, the Rein mind games with the enemy Rein to try to bait them out. Other than that, you did land some pretty juicy shatters. Some of them were questionable. A lot of your shatters were actually pretty nice. I don't think I have too much else to say about that. It's longer than I expected. I will leave it to just that one game because that was a good game. Thank you very much for watching. I don't know if I did a good job with the coaching. I don't know if I'm just blabbering. You'll have to let me know. It's the first time I've done anything like this, but I did enjoy it. If you want me to try to analyze any of your games, maybe for Overwatch 2, you can leave your codes and I can probably get round to doing that and see how that goes. So thank you very much for watching. I've been Clowner. That's been Dragon and Hat on the Reinhardt, absolutely popping off with the charges. I'll see you probably in the next one and very soon in Overwatch 2, huh? Jeez.